Good morning and welcome to The Core, where we're dedicated to pushing you daily, mind, body, and soul. And I am your host, Sophia Johnson. All right, good morning. Thank you guys for joining us. Today, our topic is loving yourself, and I have a special guest. Her name is author Shamika Floyd, and I'm so excited to have her on today. And this topic is really good because this is something that I have been pushing for women for the last couple of years. And I'm just excited to have her on. She's going to introduce herself, tell you guys a little bit more about her. So, hey, Shamika.
Hey, you guys. Hey. Yes, I'm author Shamika Floyd. I'm from Evergreen, Alabama, Conecuh County, straight out of Needmo, Highway 84. I am the middle child. Everybody knows about the middle child, always the one that got to be the bigger sister or the bigger brother, the one that's left out all the time, the one that's often the smartest. I'm Aquarius. I have three beautiful children. Like I said, I'm an author. I'm a full-time mother, and I also have my own business, Anointed Dreams, that I will later see blossom to something beautiful. I don't know. I went to school. I got my associate's degree, medical assistant, then went on again, graduated top of my classroom with my medical office administration. But of course, I'm doing something a little different on the medical side at the moment. I don't know. Aquarius at its best, very humble, very nice until you make us mad. And once you make us mad, there's no crossing back over the line. You through. But yeah, that's me all in a nutshell.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Look, I'm so excited. I'm so happy that you decided to get on here with me today. You've
Definitely.
that's something I didn't tell everybody. Our very first event, so we have a nonprofit organization called Love You First. And our very first event, she was one of our speakers, and she got up and she talked about her book and different things that she went through. So I'm so excited that she's getting to do something with me, dealing with the exact same thing, which is loving yourself. And I'm so excited. Yeah,
Me
if
too.
y'all can see, look, if y'all can see my face, well, y'all will see my face because this will be uploaded on YouTube. So I'm super excited. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right into the questions. Like we don't beat around the bush, we just go right in. So are you ready for the first question?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. So how do you define loving yourself?
I define that as self-love, physically, mentally, and emotionally. That's being positive, looking yourself in the mirror and just saying you are beautiful, you are worth it, you are everything. So it's all about a worthy situation to me of loving yourself, knowing your worth.
Yes, that's what I say too, because you gotta love you. Like just love yourself, and you know, I don't think we can live without it. But I don't want to go too much into it because that's going to tie into another question, and I don't want to. I don't want to do that. I'm trying to stay on task, you guys, and not just jump to a question that's way down the line. So I'm not going to give any more on that at this second. But I agree with everything that you said. It's about self-care. It's about just knowing who you are, being confident. So that's just being confident about yourself. So I'm super excited. Yeah, I'm so excited. All right. So our next question is, has there ever been a time where you weren't loving yourself or didn't love yourself? Oh, did you hear me?
Beginning. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Like you were saying in the beginning, I was one of your first speakers. I was actually just finishing up with my book, went through a divorce, where I actually fell off the map. I was broken. Didn't know who I was anymore, who I was trying to become anymore. I was just like stuck. Just just pitiful, actually. Trying to go with my everyday life, but I wasn't myself. I had to reconnect with myself on finding all aspects in life. And then, you know, once you're down, it seems like everybody kicks you down when you're down. It seems like it's no up. You don't have no support system to understand where you're coming from to get you out of that rump that you got. But yes, it was a time where I was bad shape, fell off.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I can actually empathize with that and sympathize with it because I had went through a time where I just was like, man, bump it. Don't nobody else care. I don't care. Like it doesn't even matter. What's the purpose?
Right.
Like it was so bad to where I had gained like 200 and like
Ooh.
65 pounds, and nobody knows about this. I was eating chips all the time. I was eating pies, like my those fudge rounds, Little Debbie fudge rounds.
Yes.
I was eating boxes of those.
Oh
And I
wow.
was just going through, like, I don't know what was going on. My head was messed up, but I know that I had never been that big before ever in my life. So that was a time period where I just didn't care. I was like, whatever. And then I went home for the summer and I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, ooh, girl, what did you do? And I ended up I lost like 100 pounds. I had lost 100 pounds, but I had to wake up and realize, like, wait a minute, that's not you. Like, your biggest has been like 150. So what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? I had been small my entire life. I had never been that big ever.
Right.
And I just was going through, like you said, a slump, and you don't know, your thoughts aren't really together. You don't really know how you're going to bounce back from it. There's nobody that really understand, or you feel there's nobody to understand because you're not really expressing yourself.
So true. So true.
So yeah, so I empathize and sympathize with that because I was there. I had never been that big in my life. Lord Jesus, I don't know. Oh no, I can't do it. Don't do it, y'all. Stop self-medicating. Don't do it. Don't be eating all them chips and the pies. Love yourself enough to put it down.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna go right into our next question. Why is it important to love yourself? Like, why do you think it's important?
The first thing I would say is because as females, you have to mate with a guy. That's how God designed it. A female be with the male. If you don't love yourself first, you would definitely get taken advantage of because you are vulnerable. And guys know when you are vulnerable and they love to stick in. They're not good at communicating, but they know how to get in that one little area and stick in there. And when you show your weakness, it's easy for a male to identify and they will play on your weakness to the utmost. And if you don't love yourself, I'm going to say, for example, if you think that you are fat and your guy knows that you want to lose weight, that you're not happy with your weight, you tired of every time you go out, everybody's looking at you. Whenever he gets mad at you, he will play on that. He will be like, oh, look at Beyonce. She knows she fine. Look at Rihanna. Like he'll start naming people that you looked at that you was like, I wish I was their size, and make you feel bad about it. And whenever, you get in arguments, he may start name calling you and mentioning big names to you. And you'll be like, see, I knew he liked the skinny people, or I know I need to lose weight. Oh, he don't really like this big weight. When in reality, he love your big weight. He's just, since you hurt him, he knows this is your weakness spot. He's going for that. So I say definitely love yourself, because if you don't love yourself first, you're not going to definitely know a little bit of your worth at all. Even if you don't know your full potential. And I think that's experience growth thing of knowing your full potential and your full growth. Besides the fact, if you was in a 2-home family and you had someone to show you what love really was, and always saying I love you, you're beautiful, besides that, because a lot of us grew up in a 1-home type situation, parent home, so a lot of us didn't get that understanding on loving yourself fully. So I think it's an experience thing. So like I said, definitely love yourself first. That way you know what you can handle, what you won't tolerate, and it can just go out the window like that. So, yeah.
Oh, girl, that's good. Look, and that actually ties into the next question. That ties right into it. So I'm gonna go ahead and exit. You basically did say that if you don't love yourself, then you don't know your worth, and you don't even know a little bit of your worth, and why it's important, why it's important to love yourself, because somebody can play on whatever that weakness is. And so let's see. Yeah. So the next question was, do you feel that if you don't love yourself, no one else will? Which is basically what you just said. Nobody will, you know,
Oh
love
yeah,
you because you don't love yourself. So it's like, why should
right.
I love
So why
her if
would
she don't
somebody
love
else
herself?
love you?
And
Exactly.
so the thing that I asked after that is, if so, what are some ways to begin to love yourself? And I think you hit on it a little bit, but can you go a little more into ways of?
Um, the first thing that I'm gonna say, because this is something that I had to learn a couple months ago, is identify what area that you need to forgive yourself for. Like in my past,
Mm,
it was um guys hurting my feelings, me staying in a relationship too long when I knew it was time to end that relationship or put a stop in it. Had so many opportunities to end it. So I had to forgive myself for allowing it to go so long, forgive myself for putting myself in that situation, forgive myself. Like I said, you have to cry out to that little girl that's in the inside of you, because everybody got that little girl in the inside that something happened along the way into their adulthood that still got them attached, but you don't see that until someone unleashed that. Then you realize, oh, I'm still stuck at 15. I'm still stuck at 12. I'm still stuck at 5. You don't know that until somebody activates that if you ain't never got over it. So I say first, you got to forgive yourself, not the other person yet, because you're not ready for that hurt yet. That's a big
mm-hmm.
burden on you. That's the reason you didn't leave in the first place. So that's a big burden. And it don't even have to be relationships um with your mate. It can be family issues. You have to forgive yourself first. And once you forgive yourself, a burden will lift off a little bit on you. And then you can begin to forgive that person that did you wrong. Even if you don't go to them and say, I forgive you, you praying about it, saying, I forgive this person. We're going to start off fresh. Probably not ever being friends or that tight like you was, but you saying you forgive that situation. So that situation is no longer a threat at yourself. So that's one thing that I say. Forgive yourself. That way you can move on. Another thing is identifying what another area inside of you that really got you dinged and bummed out. Is it your weight? Is it that you wish you had longer hair? I mean, what is it? You wish you had a better job? You wish you had kids? It's like, what is it that's in you that gets you kind of like off on yourself, feeling like sorry for yourself or not feeling happy for others because, oh, I don't have kids, or oh, I don't have a husband. It's like, start identifying what is that and what can you do to get there. If a lot of people are procrastinators, so I say take baby steps. Start setting goals, little goals, and they got to be
Mm-hmm.
reasonable goals. Because if you don't set reasonable goals, you're never going to ever get to where you're trying to go, because you just seen the bigger picture and you're trying to go for the bigger picture. So I just say start setting goals. So like I said, if you think that, oh, I want a husband, let's just use that for example. Let's say, for instance, you really can't cook, or you don't cook that many meals, can't cook that many meals. Start off now on trying to learn to cook other things, so that way you can set yourself up for cooking for your husband. If it is, I'm always a tomboy, I want to be girly girl. Okay, try some cute dresses that compliment you. So if you got a nice shape, do something that complements your shape. Or if it's, I don't wear heels, try little heels. You ain't got to get them big stilettos. Try some little heels. So I'm just saying, set yourself up to be in that environment, to be that better you that you was trying to get to. So that way, in the process of loving yourself, you did it for you. You didn't do it for the next man or whatever, because
Yes.
what one person didn't like about you, it's always somebody out there that love everything about you, everything. So I just say that, self-medicate yourself. You got to know yourself. So in order to know yourself, that's when you're going to definitely know your worth. And I know a lot of times we don't understand what know your worth means. We just thinking like, yeah, we know that this man ain't good enough for me, or this woman ain't good enough for me. I know that this is the way that my daddy showed love. That's how I supposed to. No, you need to know for yourself. Like I
Yes.
said, you start knowing what you like about yourself, how you like people to treat you, and that's the type of person you go out there. And after a while, when you start positioning yourself in that type of environment, then you start turning down people that that doesn't even, not saying that you're better than that person, just saying that they're not even in your league at the moment. When you position yourself and you making a lot of money, and you dress in a certain way, certain people you don't want to attach to. Not saying, like I said, not saying you're better than that person. It's just saying that's not where you at in your life anymore. That's where you was years ago. You gotta want better, which means you do better. Like I say, don't nobody have to date no doctor or no lawyer. He could be an average blow Joe that works at FedEx, that works 60 hours a week. Yeah, I guess that can kind of be possible. Like 60 hours a week, and you know, he just work, and he has no kids, and he strive to have kids because he's looking for that queen. Who knows? You might be that queen. You liking your skinny self, or your big self, or your medium self, your no hair, your long hair, your natural hair, or you just like to wear all kinds of weaves. I mean, everybody doesn't rock everybody's boats on looks. So like I said, once you position yourself and you love yourself, then you easy to identify somebody that you that meets you, and most likely it's going to be somebody that you never thought that you would ever talk to. So like I said, love yourself first. Definitely forgive yourself for the past, that way you can move on and be a better you.
Woo, girl, let me tell you, I'm over here taking notes. Do you hear me? Woo, okay, so this is what I was hearing. So one thing that I noticed is when you said worth, and what I started hearing was that sometimes some women, the reason why they don't love themselves or why they stay in certain situations is because they don't feel like there's anybody else that could love them like this person. They feel like whatever that person is giving them is really good, but they know that the person's not good for them, but they're like, I have kids, so don't nobody want me with kids. I know somebody who literally was like, I have kids. He took me in with my kids, so there's nobody else that's gonna want to be with me with me already having kids. There's plenty of guys, and for guys that have kids and they saying that women don't want them because they have kids, there's plenty of women and there's plenty of guys who are okay with having a ready-made family, and then they'll still be like, you want to have a kid, like when y'all get married and
Exactly.
like that, they were like, you want to have a child, you want to do this, want to do that. There's some people who want a huge family. There's some people that's okay with blending their families. So what it is, it's about a mindset. You have to change your mindset. So I had somebody ask me a while back, they was like, why did my daughter stay with him? And I said, because she thought, one, she thought she could change him. And two, she didn't think anybody else would want her because she had kids. And I said, and three, her mindset hadn't changed. And because she was picking the same guys, but that's because in between that time of not being with somebody and being with somebody, she didn't take a break in between to figure out, okay, what is it? The last two guys I dated were exactly the same way. What is it about them that I crave for in them or something like that? What is it that I crave? But at the same time, some of the things that they do is not good for me. Take that break to get to know what it is that you're worthy of and understand that you are worthy of more. So you take that break in between, and then when you do start dating again, you already know, like you said, take baby steps. And once you start realizing who you are and what your worth is, it just flows. It just flows, right? It just
flows. Yeah.
And it comes into one, during that break, you got to forgive yourself. That's one of the first things you said. You got to forgive yourself. And once you're able to work through that thing, then you're like, okay, so what's next? And you could take the baby steps to figure out all that stuff. So you take that in between that break. And that's one thing that I think some women don't do, our men don't take breaks in between relationships to figure out what is it that attracted me to them that I do want, but what is it that was horrible about them that I do not
So
want.
true.
So that I can change my mindset to what the thing that I was worthy of that they gave me, and change it from the thing that I know was horrible that I tried to change and could not change no matter how hard I tried. What can I do? What can I replace that with? Let's take that off the table and let's put this thing on the table. This is what I'm worthy of. This is what I deserve. So this is what I want, because I love myself, and I love myself enough to know that I'm worthy of more. I know that I'm worthy of more. And another thing that I like that you said, you was like, it's not saying that you are better than that person. It's just that you are not there anymore, which again is about mindset. And then you're leveling up. When you level up, you have to change your crowd. Like, not saying that you can't still be friends with those people, but like when it comes to if those people are like more so like negative 90% of the time and they positive 10% of the time, you need a group of people that's 99.9% of positive, because there is going to be a little bit of negative every now and then, simply because things in life do happen. And there's going to be times where they're going to be like, man, my job just they tripping, they getting on my nerves. But you gotta weigh that thing. Like, if this is making your life be like this, then you need to get rid of that. But if the other one is making your life like this, you can't hang with the same people. It was something that I saw, well, I didn't see. I heard, what his name, Lord, what's that man name? William Murphy. And I'm trying to see if I can find it. Man, I'm so mad. Because the only reason I thought of it was because of what you said. This is what he said. They was asking him about it was a new song that he just put out back in November, I believe it was. And he said, when you're headed to major things, you have to leave minor people alone. Not saying that those people are bad people.
Right.
It's just that right now, your mindset is somewhere that I can no longer be. I have to go here. So I can still be cordial. I still can say, hey, what's up? But I cannot sit and congregate with you like I used to when my mindset was there too. I love myself enough to not want to be there anymore.
So true.
Girl.
Oh, and then touching back bases, because I know it's gonna be other people that's listening and looking as well. They're probably thinking to themselves too, like, oh yeah, I stayed because I had kids and nobody's gonna want me. Touching bases back on that. When you love yourself and know yourself, it goes back to your parenting as well. What are you feeding back into your kids that you have as well? So it's not that men is scared of having women that has multiple kids. I think what they're trying to say is, I don't want to deal with the attitudes that the kids may have. I don't want to deal with the fact that I get with this woman, but she never disciplined her kids, or her kids tell her what they're going to do. So I think the men's was kind of some men are worrying about what they're coming into. Or do you have a lingering baby daddy around? Like, they're wondering what all they're coming into, which they may be having the same issues on their side, but that's not the way they're looking. So women, when you start loving yourself and knowing yourself, it's time to look back into your parenting, because it's always something that we can do, and we are always beating ourselves up on, like, am I a good mom or not? So it goes back to, make sure you discipline your kids as well, because no man wants to come in a situation, even if you that great woman, he thinking you the soulmate, and then he finally meets your kids to find out, oh, there's work to be done right here with these kids. Not image wise, it's just the fact that, oh, you're not respecting your mama all the way. I mean, don't get me wrong, some kids are hard-headed and you got to shape them in, and it does take sometimes a man to, get at them and say, hey, that's not right. But sometimes, men don't want to come in a situation where they got to be more than just dad with them. Because, all women looking at it like, I'm not looking at you to be dad because they have their dad. You just a bonus to the family. So, like I said, parenting goes a long way as well. Not saying men won't take the time out to be that man in your kid's life, But once again, that goes back to when you get into it with your man and decide to split up from him, and he came in and being a great impact with your kids, and now your kids still love him and still want to see him around, but then you can't stand him. It goes back to the equal amount of respect that you had with your kids versus the impact he had on with your kids too. Because if he was coming in as if, I'm dad, I've been here, I've been doing this, I do more than what their dad is doing, it's going to make it that much harder for you to break away from your man, which means that you're going to want to stay with him because everything is going good parenting wise with him. He just don't love me like he's supposed to, but he does wonderful with the kids, and I'm staying for the kids' sake. That's the wrong mindset to have. So before you go and decide you want to go back with a man, when you in that process of loving not only yourself, you make sure that you got your kids somewhat on a foundation where they do what they're supposed to do as kids. Respect another adult. You know, go to school, do what you're supposed to, do what you're supposed to do like you've been doing with your mama. Not with all that back talking, none of that stuff, because men just scared to go into an atmosphere of not knowing what it is. And then once you break up, they're like, hey, they got a dad, they didn't even need a man. Now you breaking him down and sending him on his way to mess up another woman because this is what he heard from you, how they got a dad, they didn't even want to be with you anyways and talk to you. Now you messing up his ego. So I mean, it can go both ways, vice versa with men as well. But I'm just saying, as women, since we got to definitely love ourselves. It's something attractive about a woman going into a place, and it's a lot of men there and a lot of women. If you ain't never noticed it, go on a day where you feeling yourself and you have to walk in a crowd full of women and men, and just notice how the women looking at you versus how the men looking at you. What are the men doing and what are their reactions, and what are the women doing in their reaction? And I will say Black people, because I'm Black, so I would know, you would definitely get that response that you've been looking for out of a Black woman. A Black woman would either look at you like, who she thinks she is. That's when you know you got it. If she got to look like that and turn her nose at you, you killing it. You killing it. But even if she look at you and say, oh, you're very beautiful today. Okay, thank you. I mean, when you in that right position, because the looks going to tell it all. Even the negative looks, it's going to tell it all. So I just wanted to say that.
Yes, like and this is what just came to me. Even on those days like that, sometimes you don't even have to say anything. You could just be in a t-shirt, some jeans, and some tennis shoes, and somebody will be like, man, you so beautiful, like your eyes, like something about you. And that right there also helps with you being like, well, you may have felt some way when you left out the house, but that helps with your esteem too. It boosts your esteem, and it makes you be like, you know what, obviously I must be everything that I've been working with on the inside is now
you
showing
in the right
on the
direction.
Outside.
Yes,
girl. Ooh!
You in a good position. So when you in a good position and you keep getting compliments, even if it's the same compliments and it seem like they're wearing it out, it's letting you know you in a good predicament. Because there's plenty of times I come out and I'm like, oh, I'm ugly, I don't want to take no picture, and then I get on Facebook and like when I share it to my stories, and you seeing all these people that have reacted to it, and you just like, oh, and I thought I was ugly. No. And then you got people that sitting back that ain't even going to react to it because they're just like, And then when they see you out, they say, oh, I see you've been doing your thing on Facebook. You position right. You in the right position. So, I mean, like I said, it's not all about people approval, because as long as you know that you got your approval and you are targeting where you trying to be at, because you got to know where you trying to head at in life, because you got to have a goal. You can't just be on the path of just, I'm trying to self-heal myself, but then you don't have a goal, because then how we know if you progressing or not? So you got to definitely have a goal on where you're trying to get at in life. And once you meet that goal, then it's so hard to get back down, because you're like, oh, I want to go further. This is how I feel to be here. So yes, set you a goal. Like I said, it got to be a realistic goal. Everybody want to be a millionaire. I mean, don't get me wrong. That's a hard reach to reach out to say, hey, every day I'm going to pray I'm going to be a millionaire. Not saying it would never happen, but start at baby steps. start saying, man, I would like to touch $500,000 or 250,000. You know, that's still kind of a reach, but at the same time, it's somewhat being realistic, because who knows, you can go to the casino and you can win, or you might be in a position where somebody just left you everything, and that's how much that's worth. It may not look like that's how much it's worth, but it's like you actually still touched 250,000, because this acre of land you standing on, as well as this house that was left for you, is worth all that, and you don't even know, because you're so stuck on, oh, I want to touch the money. So like I said, it's not always coming in the form of money when you put it out there in that atmosphere. Sometimes it can be what it's worth, which is what you're worth. It's what it's worth. So like I said, think about what you say when you're praying about stuff, and be exact, because like if you don't be exact and you just saying it out in the norm, it can go so many different ways. You might be praying for a good man. God may see you a good man. He may be in the church, but then you're just like, oh, I'm not a church going person, but you asked God to send you a good man. You didn't be precise on what kind of good man that you wanted God to send you. You just said, God, send me a good man, and that's what he did. And it's a lot of times how people get used by people, because that's what they asked God for, but that wasn't what they was ready for. So like I said, be precise on what you asking and what you're putting in the atmosphere, because it does come back to you. It may not come back into the forms that you was looking for, but it is what you asked for. I mean, you may not look at it. You might take you years to look, stand back and say, oh, that's what I was supposed to been doing. Yeah, you wasn't precise. You asked for a good job. But when you asked for a good job, you were saying, I want a good job that pays good. You didn't just say, I wanted a good job. You was meaning, I want one pay good. God sent you a job that pays you $30 an hour, but you're definitely going to bust your tail off for that $30 an hour. But you asked for a good job, which means you wanted more money, and that's what he sent you. But you didn't think you had to do all that work to get that $30 an hour. So like I said, be precise on what you want. Be precise on what you put in that atmosphere, because it will shower back down on you. And when you think God haven't answered your prayers, he answered your prayers all alone. And that same very person that sits behind you at work or across from you, that was the one. Either that was your soulmate, that was the one that was going to help you get out your situation that you in. That might be your babysitter right there. You never know, because like I said, you're not in that position to love yourself enough to know that person is something about this person. You ain't even recognizing that whenever you're not loving yourself. You all still on your high horse. You still mad at the world. So like I said, you don't identify all the things that you will identify once you love yourself. And I'm speaking for experience, because like I said, the last couple months before 2020 got in, I made it a mission to be at peace with myself. I don't know how to act right now, because this peace feels so good to me, until some days I be like, okay, what am I missing? Is somebody coming to piss me off today? Because I love this piece. Like, it feels good. And so when people come in and they giving me excuses, and that's another thing. It's a lot of guys. I'm going to say guys, because I have more guy friends than female friends. It's a lot of guys think that, oh, you being mean. Oh, you done got beside yourself. No, I'm so used to people saying, men saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. When is enough sorries is enough? That's what I'm going to ask you ladies. How many sorries are you going to take before sorry don't mean nothing to you no more? So you're going to have to make a stand to those sorry, because that's where I was at my life, and still is at my life. I don't like to hear sorry. But when you start loving yourself, you're going to find out which sorry is genuine and which sorry is just to shut you up, just to get you by for another day. But if that's what you're used to, you're going to be okay with, oh, I'm sorry, baby. Here go your MK bag, and here go you a bottle of Stella Rose. You're going to be okay with it, because that's something he's not used to doing. On top of that, he said he's sorry. But if you know your worth, when he say he's sorry and really means that he's sorry, you going to feel that sorry, like, okay, you better not do it again. This is your last straw, but I accept your apologies. We all humans. So like I said, love yourself, forgive yourself, and it'll come natural. Trust.
Look, this is something else that I heard Holy Spirit was talking to me. When you said that person might be your babysitter, when you don't love yourself, you don't recognize the opportunities.
That is true.
You don't recognize it, because you'll be like, but it'll be funny, because years, like you said, years later, you'll be like, wait a minute, you mean to tell me, had I did this, this, and this, that's what it would have happened back then? Yeah. But you was so caught up in like, okay, well, I'm just whatever, I don't care, da 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 da. You ain't love who you were. Cause like when you know who your worth, and it goes back into this too, your purpose, the gifts on your life, the talents that you have, when you recognize, because you start recognizing all those things at the same time that you love yourself.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, like I didn't even know I was gifted in this. Oh my, that's my purpose. Like all that stuff starts coming. It's like it started flooding you. And I'm gonna tell you this, start writing it down. So as you're going through what she was saying, she said there are ways to begin to love yourself, forgiving yourself. Write down whatever it is, look at it, be like, okay, so this is what I forgave myself for, and then burn it. That's right there, that's gone, right? So then you taking baby steps of ways to make yourself better or ways to love yourself better. Start writing those things down. Get you a journal, get you a notebook, get you some loose leaf paper, whatever you need to do, get you a binder, start putting those pages in there, just start writing that stuff down, and you'll see that you're growing more and more each day. And then
Yeah.
at the end of the year or at the end of the month, go back and see how far you've come. Not saying that you'll go back to those things, just look and be like, wow, in 30 days, I've literally turned all of this around. Like all of this has been turned around because each day I'm working on just bettering myself, being the best version of myself. Like by loving who I am, girl.
Yes, and also 2018 was a year to detach people that was just hanging on for you. And a lot of people didn't detach it. A lot of people didn't realize that was the year for that. So y'all brought that into 2019. So what I have been seeing in Facebook, you know, Facebook ain't putting up for the clout. They be, you know, they said it ain't about them, but it's too many people saying the same thing. 2019 showed them who their real friends were because they didn't detach in 2018. They brought it on over into 2019. So 2019 showed them who their real friends were.
Wait
so I'm
till
letting
I
you
see
know.
you. Wait till I see you. Keep
And I'm
going.
letting
I'm
you know
sorry.
for you know, you're okay. And I'm letting you know for your 2020 females, yes, it's a point for us loving ourselves. Like the topic is saying, love yourself. This is the year for us to love us, which means this is the year to get out your comfort zone. So when you loving yourself, you start finding out what you like to do that you haven't been doing because you've been at home with the kids all the time, or you been at work all day. That's all you know. You just been working, and come home, or you work and come home to your kids. That's all you know. So whenever you start leveling up, you start getting in the atmosphere with other people that all they do is bowl and go to the movies on the weekend, but they still do the same thing you're doing. But on the weekends, it's their free time. They go bowl, they go to the movies, or they doing family activities. They going to ice cream shops, they going to the mall. They're not buying nothing. They just window shopping. Them are the people that you're going to be tied to in 2020 that's going to bring you out your comfort zone. So the things that you used to do, like me, I love to be at home. I'm a homebody. It's hard to get me out. But I know that this is the year that I'm going to meet with somebody that likes to go out and just paint on the weekend. Okay, that's something I ain't never did. But you never know how artistic you is because you ain't never tried to paint. You just like, I ain't got time for that. This is going to be your year to attach to people that's doing different things. It may sound like, oh, why are you doing that? Why are you going to the crab shack getting crab legs? Have you tried crab legs? Okay, fine. But you can still go to the crab shack and get other things. So I'm just saying it's all about getting out the house, doing something that you haven't normally been doing. So this is that year. So like I said, if you done brought 2019 into 2020, between these first 2 months, January and February, you need to put an expiration to that. You need to dead that. You need to let it go. I mean, stop it. That's why some of y'all are saying 2021 is my year. How can that be your year when this year haven't even, this year just not getting in? We in the first month of this whole year. 2021 don't have to be your year. 2020 can be your year, even if it's October. That this year is your year too, but you got to let go of that stuff that you're supposed to let go in 2019. Like I said, a lot of people were laughing at people that had said, oh, new year, new me. So it can be a new year. Why can't it be a new year, new me? I mean, if that person go get them a job, but they haven't had a job all last year, it's a new them. Now they got money. Now they can buy stuff. They can go get their shoes. They can go get a car. I mean, I'm just saying, don't knock nobody. So at the end of the day, y'all need to be letting that 2019 stuff go. And I understand it's baby steps, but you got to pick one or two things that's dragging you down
Major
from
things.
2019. Yes, it got to be major. It can't just be something minor like, I can't stop buying tennis shoes. Okay, give me something else that's major. I mean, along the way, you can stop buying shoes, but I'm just saying, what's something major? Is it a family member always calling you on the need of you to go to the store, do this, go bring me this, but they don't never help you? You need to start putting a cut to that. No, I cannot do that. Oh, I got gas money. Okay, I'm busy today. So like I said, 2020 can still be your year. It just got in. So January and February, deck those 2019, because that's what's going to tire you out. And if you're still dealing with 2019 stuff into 2020, you didn't even work your full capacity out your 2020. And not saying that you still can't love yourself. You can still love yourself, but how many years are you going to go before you wake up? And don't get me wrong, it took me some time to kind of like wake up too, but I didn't have nobody to sit there and tell me these are some of the things that you can do to get you where you need to be. So I'm telling you, these are things that you can get. And I don't want to hear a female say, oh, this man broke me. How did this man break you? That's the first thing you need to ask you. How did he break you? Oh, he's talking down on me. Okay, let's fix that situation. We're not gonna let nobody talk down on you. You don't let your mama talk down on you like that. Your daddy haven't talked down on you. You're not gonna let a grown man talk down on you, or shall I say a little boy talk down on you like that. So that's the first thing you're gonna fix. You're gonna start standing up for yourself, start saying, changing your number. Change your location. It's time to move. Some of y'all are still in the same spot that y'all been in for years. There's nothing wrong with that, but at the same time, you can't have big dreams and still doing little bitty stuff. And you got to expand yourself. If you don't expand yourself, it ain't gonna never amount to nothing. And I'm just being real. Like I said, because I'm here in Vegas and you may be somewhere in a small little town that's only got 2,000 people. That doesn't mean nothing, because you can still be great in your small 2,000 population of people. But I'm just saying, you got to get somewhere a little bit bigger. It don't have to be huge like New York, Vegas, California, Miami. It can just be somewhere in a different area that you ain't never went to before and don't know nobody, because you never know what your gift in life is that's going to put you in that situation. You might be owning a company and telling people, hey, you need to put an application. I'm the boss. And, I can get you a job. But you ain't gonna never know that if you're still in that same spot you in, still dealing with the same old people that we were just telling you. When you level up, you gotta leave those people alone. Don't get me wrong, you can still go on dates with them. Well, dinner dates, not we're talking, we're messing around. You gotta change your scenery of people, because once you're happy, you gotta see everybody on your team being happy for you. Not just people that you think is your A1 since your day one, because there's a lot of your people that has been your day ones, but they ain't your A1 because they fell off the train a couple different times. So they ain't your A1s, they just your day ones. So with that being said, like I said, leave that 2019 alone within these first 2 months. That way you can see a brighter 2020, because it's your year as well. Girl, I'm telling you.
I'm over here like, oh, Jesus. She don't even understand.
Girl, you got me over here preaching.
Look, I'm over here like, well, we can just say the benediction and we good. Like, when I tell you this, I know this was nothing but Holy Spirit that orchestrated this, simply because, like I told you before we even started recording, that this topic was for someone. I had picked somebody else and they were just, they wouldn't respond. And like, if you want to do something, I feel like you basically respond, especially you'll respond within that day. I mean, I understand people work and I understand that people got things to do, and you may not be able to respond until 11:55 at night. That's okay, but you responded.
But you responded, right?
Like, but if I'm getting a response a week later, that tells me that you don't really want to do it. And then you still don't respond. And, so whenever I saw something that you had put on Facebook, and I was like, okay, Holy Spirit was like, ask her if she want to do it. And then I was like, okay, what would the topic be? And then took me to that topic, and I was like, wow. So some of the stuff that you was just saying is some of the stuff that he has had me typing about. So I had to pull my phone back out again.
Confirmation.
Yes, and that's what I was going to tell you too, when you said earlier, if somebody be like, you beautiful, like if you walk outside or something, they be like, you're beautiful. It's confirmation for the thing that you've been doing. You've been working on the inside.
Yep.
And now it's all starting to show on the outside.
Progress.
And not only do you see it, but others see that light on you now.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So you were just saying that y'all had people that's attached to y'all since y'all was supposed to let go last year. Actually, yeah, you said
In
either last year or
2018, 2018, you were supposed to detach
and
yourself.
let them go, right? Check this
Mhm.
out. So I actually did a podcast on the topic was attachments. And exactly. So this is what I was trying to go to sleep. And I'm gonna tell you, I had told somebody something, and well, the Lord showed I have visions, different stuff like that. Well, you already
Right.
know this, but they might not know it. And so I had told somebody something, and then they came back later and was like, I don't need any more stress or whatever, whatever. So what does that mean? And I was trying to explain it. And then right after I got through trying to explain to them that I wasn't trying to cause stress, and it means that this, when the Lord started speaking to me and showing me visions and different stuff. And I immediately started stressing. So I was like, I'm gonna have to go to bed. I was like, because I don't understand why I'm stressing like this. And this is what, as soon as I put my head on the pillow and closed my eyes, I heard attachments. Don't attachments. And I was like, okay. And so I kept listening. I heard, don't attach anything to yourself that doesn't allow you to work or run with full capacity. And you just said,
I like that when you posted, I was like, yes. Somebody's in the same chapter that I'm on in life right now.
Yes, and the thing about it is, and he started showing me a vacuum cleaner, and then he started showing me a car, and I was like, because I had some people tell me that you get too churchy sometimes, and I was like, oh my God, like I don't feel like I do, but so I was like, well, Lord, can you start showing me how to speak to people in a better way, in a different way that'll still get the point across that is about the kingdom of God. And so he started showing me the vacuum cleaner, and he started showing me the car, and how there's certain attachments that's supposed to go to the vacuum cleaner, and there's certain things that's attached to the car that's supposed to be there. But if you take something, like if you put something that's supposed to be in an Audi and you put it in a Honda, you attaching something to it that's not supposed to be there, and that car probably gonna tear up. Or if you put the wrong kind of gas, like in order for the engine to work, the gas has to flow through the engine. Because I asked my husband, I was like, because I was trying to, because my husband know more about cars than I do, and I was gonna Google it, but I was like, he know cars, let me just ask him.
Right.
And I was like, don't the gas go through the engine or something like that? He was like, duh. And I was like, boy, you know I don't know about no car. And he was like, yeah, they do. And so you put the wrong kind of gas, your car gonna sputter. That car gonna sputter until you run out of gas and put some the right
and
gas
those are
in
your
there.
red flags that you ain't paying attention to because you're trying to get to your destination. So
and you putting any kind of attachment on yourself. You allow other folks to attach their stuff to you when in all actuality it's not supposed to be there. You're trying to put a Hoover hose on a Bissell, like it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. So if there's anything that's gonna be attached to you that doesn't allow you to run at full capacity, you need to release it. You need to let it go. Like you said, detach. When you love yourself, you are able to recognize your worth and recognize when there's something on you that's not right, that's holding you back, that's keeping you from reaching your goals and reaching your destiny. Like, oh my goodness, this is so good. Okay. Like, I don't even know. And you actually, on the last question that we have, you actually did already hit on it just a little bit. And the question is, do you feel loving yourself can be taught, or you just figure it out on your own? You hit on it a little bit earlier, but I can't remember exactly what you said, so I wanted to ask that question.
I'm gonna say both, because I didn't have nobody. I mean, I had my mom in there, but I didn't really have nobody to actually teach that to me. Self-love, other than the fact that you're beautiful, the normal stuff. You're beautiful. You don't let no man hit on you. You don't let, you say no to strangers. The actual norm. But for somebody to actually sit down and talk to you and share their experiences with you, I had nobody to teach me that. So it goes in two ways. Like I said, it goes with being taught, because you done have that parent to teach you. Loving yourself, it's okay to, if you wanted to wear checkerboards and spandex and striped shirt, it's okay, because that's you. That's unique. That's what you like to wear. that's teaching you to love yourself. Even though we all looking like that don't match, you shouldn't be wearing that. This is you. That's what you like to do. That's what your parents and stuff taught you. Like, it's okay to dress like that because that's what you want to dress like. So it can be taught because you in two family homes, or you can talk because you had a strong-headed mother that, or grandmother, or whoever that was there to teach you those things. But then you have a lot of us that was not taught on how to love yourself, and you had to learn from experience. But it just takes that right experience to shake you up. But then if you don't hear nobody ever teaching you on it, because believe me or not, it's a lot of people that sit on Google or YouTube trying to figure out, what can I do to self-heal myself? Who can teach me about loving myself? That is not something that everybody's saying the same thing. Like, who's just like me that went through what I've been through, that understands what I'm talking about, that's telling me to love myself? Because if you just teach it, just love yourself, everybody's like blah blah blah, teach you how to be a woman. Yeah, so you're not listening to the whole thing. But if you actually listen to someone that has been through some things, that has went from somewhere small to somewhere big, or went from picking peas, but now they're sitting as in like a CEO position, or they're somewhere in that upper administration class right now where they're doing good, you won't understand where they're coming from, because we all looking at this Beyonce or this favorite Facebook person that gets, it seems like 1,000 likes and 100 shares and 50 comments, and we're just like, oh, she's beautiful, or he's beautiful, but not knowing once they click off of Facebook, they're crying, they're stressed out, they're not loving themselves. This is what they painted themselves up, because this is what Facebook or what Instagram or Snapchat done told them, that this is what they got to do. So have you ever noticed when you seen somebody on Facebook that's always glammed up, always going out, and they look in a certain way, but then you walk into the grocery store and you just like, ew, who was that? Like, oh, this was so-and-so. Well, they look like a bum today. So now they done dropped your expectations out. Now they looking just like how you look on the regular, but they just looking a certain way on Facebook. So it's like, you got to love yourself, because at the end of the day, the same comments that we're giving them, like, ooh, I didn't even know who you was, or you need to wear your makeup, that's the same things that they're crying about whenever they get off of this social media. So don't think for a second, these people that you're looking at, they got this perfect body, they got this perfect behind, and you want a bigger butt, or they got the perfect breast. Don't think for a minute that it's a part of them that they probably don't love their stuff about. They just trying to find ways to express it, to get over what they're going through. So like I said, they just master how to love their self in a way to cover it up but make it look good. And even if you got to fake it till you make it, that's what you're going to have to do too. They just found out how to make it work for them. So whatever works for you, work, but also be open to what other people are saying. So yes, it can be taught along the way with experience. Because sometimes you got to go through some stuff to understand what one person was trying to tell you with wisdom, to say, hey, look at here, love yourself. You don't have to wear makeup. You don't have to, do your natural hair and all this stuff. You have to go through some experience where, who knows, like, let's say for instance, you done got, you had to go through chemo. You lost all your hair that you was just, being highly about your hair. And here you go, you lost your hair, had to go bald headed, and you had to find beauty in being bald head. That lowering spot for you, that was devastating for you, to feel like, oh, I'm not pretty no more now, I don't have my hair, I feel ugly. You found that lower spot in there to make yourself look beautiful. So then whenever you came out of chemo, and now that you're starting to catch your hair back, you don't even care to have your hair back no more, because you found beauty. You had to humble yourself. So I just say, people got to get to a part where they're humble. People are not as humble as they used to be no more. And then also, you got to be that friend. That's another thing. We all got that one friend or that two friends that's always on you, that's bringing all their drama to you. You got to be that friend that sit there and say, hey, look at here. Tell them how it is. You don't sit there and let that dude do this to you, or you don't sit there and let your parents talk to you like that. You got to stand up. You're adult. You got to be that person. And then once they come back and you see that they didn't listen to nothing you said and they did their own avenue, you have to be that same person that come back to them and say, hey, look at here. Don't tell me nothing else about dude. Don't tell me nothing else about your parents, and you didn't take nothing that I said to heed. You got to be that person. If not, you're going to wear their stress the whole time. And like you were saying, you're going to go to bed. You're going to go to bed feeling stressed out, because sometimes their stress will uplift off of them, give them that burden feeling, and it's going to be on you now. Now they're going to sleep happy, like, oh, I don't know what I did. Now he's doing everything good. Now you got the stress because they gave it on to you. And that energy can get on to you. And like I will tell other people, one thing that kept me safe through all my history of, or I ain't gonna say all my history, with my couple of years of being in a domestic violence, was praying and getting that holy oil that has been prayed over, and wiping my door knobs off, wiping my hinges. Sometimes I go wipe the wall, like just get one finger and just start praying. You have to anoint your whole house. And when I tell you that kept me safe, because it's a lot of times that I could not be here to tell my story, that works. A lot of people don't know now. People talking about saging. I don't know nothing about saging. I'm from the old school area. I mean, that probably was some voodoo type stuff back in my day from, because I'm old school, but
and it
yeah.
still is. And it
So,
still is.
So like I said, get that holy oil. If you're somewhat spiritual, or you're spiritual, I'm going to say, get that holy oil. And even if you don't feel like you have enough power in prayer, take somebody that's really good at prayer, that you feel like God answered their prayers. Have them anoint your whole house. Like when there's nobody there but you and that person. Anoint your, because when I say, it has been some people that told me, oh, I'm going to just stay outside. I was like, really? It's cold out there. Never thought that that was a demon in disguise. And demons not trying to come into something like that. They feel that whenever there's anointing. They decide to stay outside. If they say they want to stay outside, let them stay outside. It's a reason. Let them stay outside. Or if they come in there and they be like, oh, well, you know what? I'm just going to sit outside and wait for you to come out. Yes, it's a power in the prayer of the house. So a lot of times when I could have been robbed in my house, like I said, I didn't get robbed. Or if somebody came in my house and they took something from me and I'm like, where is it? Somebody must have stole it. Nothing good came out of them because the house was prayed up. Like I said, you don't have to have holy oil everywhere, but if you ever came into my house and you seen like little stains in the wall from oil,
Baby, that's that
was
oil.
from me when I prayed. Yes. So like I said, and then if you got that one little area, especially the bedroom is a good place to make sure you holy it down. Like I said, it's a lot of people that is not as in tune with God like they should be, but you find your own ways to connect with God. So that's another thing. Like I said, just pray over your house or your car. That was another thing with my car. My car put me down, but it never gave me an accident on the streets. It never got broken into. It was just something dealing with the inside of the vehicle that it was like it was tired. But other than that, it kept me safe, because that was another thing. I prayed over my whole vehicle. And hey, it worked. So I will say that's another thing. Thank you, God, because it's a lot of times that I shouldn't even be in the predicament now to even be saying a lot of stuff. But you got to pray over that, as well as every morning when you get in your vehicle, you got to pray for your vehicle and the people inside of your vehicle, as well as yourself. Because there's a lot of time people driving cars is not paying attention on the road. Mm-hmm. It's pedestrians that just walking and they shouldn't be walking, and you may hit them. So like I said, just pray. Every morning I pray and say, Lord, cover me in this vehicle, not only the inside of the vehicle, but the people on the inside and the outside of my vehicle. It works. Like I said, you never know, your little simple prayer, it gets to God. God knows. He already knows that nature, that this person is going to be in this predicament to make all this money, but she's going to get involved with this one guy that she keep going back to, that's going to keep her from being in that position to get that money. And you sit here like, Lord, I've been saying this. And you ever wonder when you finally let somebody go that's been tying you down, and then you start seeing all your blessings falling down on you? That was that one person God been warning you about. And you don't know, and you don't feel that excitement until after you let that person go. And then you start seeing that now jobs is offering you jobs. Now your credit is starting to go up for some odd reason. Somebody went to the bank and said, oh, you're debt free. You're not in the negative no more. We don't know what happened. It's that blessing. That's that favor that's falling down on you, because you done let something go that you wasn't supposed to. That's the attachment that you're supposed to be letting go, that you didn't detach, but now you didn't detach, and now you starting to see everything work in your favor because it was all that one person. Woo. Or that one situation you was in. God been asking you to step on leaf. And a lot of people have been saying they're going to step out on leaf and just like quit my job. You can quit your job, but if you ain't got no plan or no goals, that ain't going to be effective for you at all. You can't just quit your job and stand on God and say, well, I want to see what God's going to do, because you still got to work too in the progress. You got to position yourself. If you don't position yourself and you just step out on leave and just say, hey, I'm quitting my job today. But then you ain't think about, if I quit my job, now my car finna get taken away from me. Now I'm finna be evicted. Now I gotta go stay with my baby mama, or I gotta stay with my parents, or I gotta stay with a ex. If you didn't think about the process and of trying to get out there, then you're gonna fail. And then you're gonna be saying, I shouldn't listen to this person. No, you shouldn't listen to yourself. Don't do what everybody's doing. That's another thing. Everybody's trying to do monkey see, monkey do. Don't do what everybody is doing. Go a different route. If everybody seems like they going left, go right. But on amongst the going right, you still got to have a plan on going right, because there's going to be a lot of stumbling blocks, because the purpose was nobody thought that you was going to go right. Even though right is the right direction, nobody thought you was going to go right. So right looking very ugly. It got a whole bunch of stumbling blocks making you just say, no, I don't want to go there, because left was the easy way. Everybody on a clear path so you can go that way, because it wasn't the right way. So like I said, you get you a goal, set it. I got so many calendars. I work out of 3 calendars, 3 to 4 calendars. And I mean, people are just like, man, you good at time management. It doesn't matter what situation I'm in, a bad situation, a mad situation. If someone came to me and said, hey, can you time manage me? I can time manage you all the way down to seconds. That's how good at time management I am. And my OCD gets to me so badly. Until if you need a budget plan, you tell me, hey, this is what my bills are. I can do that. But you got to find out what are you good at that you can benefit other people off of. Because if you ain't got nothing to offer to other people, I'm letting you know, ain't nobody going to be listening to you. I got a lot of people now that see that I'm an author, and some of them are belittling the way that, like, I don't know if she was smart back in school. If she can write, I know I can write. But then them same people that's coming to me to say, hey, how did you write a book? What do you mean? I said, okay, so I'm going to say this. Since you like music, it works just like music people do. You're going to be an independent author, like an artist, or you going to be with a promotion team that they doing everything for you. All you got to do is just bring the heat, the music, and go. That's the same thing with author. But I tell everybody, you got to do your research first before you ask me, how did I do what I did? You got to do your research on authoring. You got to find out if you want to be an independent author. And everybody wants to be an independent author. But the reality is, are you going to do the work to be an independent author?
Yes.
A lot of people is not crafted. And don't get me wrong, I'm not good at marketing my own self, but I feel like what I put into my books are strong enough to get in the right direction. So if I had the right person, it can blossom to something big, because that's how much power is inside my writing. So if you're not a person that can't get out there and market your stuff all the way, you got to go with a company. It's okay that you can't be an independent author. So that's something to think about. Everybody has to find their niche, what they good at, and people will respect you even more when you're doing your own thing. So yeah.
Yes, girl. Look, I know this is what, when you said don't be like everybody else, stop comparing yourself and all that stuff. The other day I had text the ladies who are a part of my nonprofit, and I said, I'm not going to do it the Facebook way. I said, I want to be aberrant. And I was pumping gas. Let me tell you, I was pumping gas, girl. Got a new word, because at Circle K on the gas pump thing, it gives you the word of the day.
Okay,
and
yeah.
the word was aberrant, and that means stepping away from the norm of what everyone else does.
You know, you see this confirmation that's coming back to you, and we have not pre-talked about any of this. So for me to say stuff and it's kind of like a check off in your book, it's like, once again, you in the right direction. Confirmation.
Well, I'm so, y'all, let me tell y'all don't understand how this is, and it still goes back to loving yourself. All of this wrapped in together. And I know you got to get ready to go, so I'm gonna actually do a prayer real quick, and then we're gonna end this podcast. This has been amazing. I'm super excited about you guys listening in on this and giving us feedback and letting me know if you would like to have her on again, which I already know. I just wrote your name down. I have a list of a couple of people.
Okay.
And your name just got put on that list because Holy Spirit said put on there. So I got you on that list.
Oh, I appreciate it.
So I'm super excited about having you back on. But I'm going to do this prayer real quick, and then I'm going to let you go. So, God, we
Okay.
just thank you for this time of fellowship. God, we thank you for just using us as your vessels to help people learn how to love themselves, God. God, I just pray that each and every person who hears this podcast, that they receive it in the way that it was intended for them to receive it, that they're able to take key notes from this and work on themselves, and not only work on themselves, but show it outwardly, God, to other people so that they can start working on themselves as well. And God, we just thank you for again for this time. Thank you for just using us. Thank you for each and every person that's going to listen, that their minds will be changed, that they will begin to level up, that they will begin to understand their worth, and they'll know who they are in you. And in your name, in Jesus' name, we pray. Amen. Amen.
Amen. I want to say one more thing before I leave off of this, because as you was praying, I can also hear a lot of people want their homegirls, their homeboys to win because they're winning. I'm saying to you is help your homeboy, your homegirl win. If you got your A1 day one that's going through some things and you seeing yourself leveling up, you got to help them level up. So that way, whenever you up, they're up with you, because once you level up way past them, it's not going to be no way that you can come back down there and get them without you slipping back into those old ways and never be on top. So you need to get your homegirl and level her up. If she's in that same deadbeat situation, get her out that deadbeat situation. Help her see other things in life than what she's seeing as well as you. Because if you gotta be a good friend. So help that homegirl, help that homeboy get out if you want them to come in that journey with you. Because like I said, if not, you're gonna have to leave your homegirl or your homeboy. You're gonna have to leave them down there with the rest of the people, because it ain't gonna be no room to bring them to the top if you don't try to bring them along in the journey. And who knows, along the journey way, when you make it to the top, they may have fell down 2 notches back, and that's probably where God wants them at the moment, which is fine. They're still not at the bottom. But don't let your homegirls continue to go through them situations that you know is wrong or what you've been through. Let them know, because once they finally find that one or find that spot in life, they're going to say, dang, you should have told me sooner. Don't nobody want to go back and see 10 years pass them by and then finally finding happiness. Sooner or later, we're going to be too old for all that stuff. We ain't going to be caring about that stuff. So help your homegirl, help your homeboy out, so that way y'all can level up together. That way you don't have to go through the journey all by yourself. You at least know one person.
And what's before you go off, what's a way that they can contact you if they want to reach out to you after this?
Oh, let's see. You can go on Anointed Dreams on Instagram, and you can contact me. You can go on Author Shamika Floyd on Facebook. That's my personal page, where I'm not just talking about my business, because sometimes you want to see the real in people, not only what they're showing you with their business side. You can follow me on that, or like I said, Anointed Dreams on Facebook. I got a book page as well. So, follow me through my greatness, because once I'm up, I hate to see people say, oh, I knew her. So once I'm up and I'm doing good and y'all see me with Tyler Perry and on them Lifetimes, y'all gotta, support me now. And like I said, even if you can't buy a book, sharing some of the stuff that I'm doing, that's fine. That's Black excellence for us Black people. But if you're other races, that's fine. Support, sharing, liking, mentioning it to somebody, that's fine with me. My books are on Amazon. I got A Mother's Nightmare. That's a domestic violence dedication book. And then my second book is Serenity. It's different from A Mother's Nightmare, but it got the same characters off the first book into the second. And you can read my second book without reading my first, but it's better to read the first, so that way you see your favorite character in the first one, you wondering how they doing. At least you'll know in the second book how they doing, because I carry them on. So, get my books. Stay on Amazon. They're not that much. So, read it on Unlimited Kindle if you have to.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, y'all.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so proud of you and everything that you're doing. I'm so excited, and I can't wait for us to have another conversation and for us to do this other stuff that we're going to do together. So
yes, and I gotta get in tune with the core, because a lot of times I'm on Facebook and everybody think I'm just in my news feeds just liking stuff. I think I like the first 10 minutes on my Facebook. Other than that, I'll be watching people talking their lives, or I'm watching episodes on Facebook. So a lot of people think, or I'm in my inbox answering questions. So I got to get in tune with that core, because I feel a little outdated with what you got with the core going on right now. So yes, I got to get in tune.
Yes. Well, all right, girl. I know you got to get to work. And we're
Yes.
going to go ahead and end this bad boy. Thank you guys for joining us, and I will see you guys later. Thank you for joining the core, where we're pushing you daily, mind, body, and soul. We'll see you again next Tuesday.